In today's episode, we will be talking about a pocket dragon, an almost finished poncho with sleeves. We will be talking about a zombie, a Minecraft zombie in the making, a sheep blanket, a sheep baby blanket, and much more. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Pass and Pearls, my channel where I talk about all of my passions. If you're new here, you're very welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back. This is episode 5 of my Fiber Arts podcast, where I talk about all of my past, present and future projects for crochet and knitting, and sometimes some other fiber art. My name is Laura and I live in the southeast of the UK with my partner Yanni and our little dog Loki. Today is Sunday, 10th of August 2025, and it is quite hot today, so you might notice I'm a little bit pink, probably more red. We were a little bit in the sun today. We were at a party in a garden and it was very sunny. There wasn't much shade, so that's all the pinkiness. Let's call it pinkiness. I know it's redness. I hope you're all doing okay, and I hope you're all doing something nice and enjoyable this hot, at least in the UK, weekend of August, and you're all making the most of. We don't know if this is going to be the last heat wave of the summer, so I do like to think I want to enjoy it as much as possible. But now back to our cozy topics. Before I start with finished objects and whips, I wanted to talk about what I am wearing today. Today I'm wearing the Ama Granny Square top by Maria Valles. I started this one in May 2023 and I finished it in July 2023, so it took me just a little bit more than a month of on and off. I wasn't working just on this at the time. It was actually really enjoyable. And the yarn I use for this is the She Peas Whirl, which is a 50%, I think, acrylic and 50% cotton. Yeah, 1000 meters per 225 grams. And I use the color 761 Pistachio. Oh, so nice. My friend Petra, she also made one. She finished hers quite recently and she was wearing it yesterday. We've met and we went out for the day together and she was wearing it. I almost wore this one yesterday. And actually I've asked her if I could take a picture of her that I could show when I was recording this, because I had already planned everything for today. So I'm gonna pop the picture of her wearing hers. She has used the same yarn. I do not know what color she has. If she wants to let us know in the comment, Petra, let us know what color you use. If you enjoy making granny squares or granny stripes, this is a really mindless project, very easy, even for a beginner. It's really easy. It gets a bit tedious in the second square probably. This stays a little bit more interesting because there's a gradual change of color, so you just keep going because you want to see how the next color is gonna be, when the next color is gonna show. If you do it all in one color, I guess it's gonna get boring much more easily, unless you like to do a very mindless project, which this definitely is. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it for anyone, beginners, experienced, that like to have mindless project alongside with other a little bit more challenging project. And now moving on to finished objects. For what concerns my finished objects for July, I was actually hoping I would have another big finished object to show you. Unfortunately, it's not finished yet, but it will be soon. I know you know what it is, the poncho with sleeves, but we'll get there in a second. However, in July, just before I went to the wedding in Italy with Yanni, to my cousin's wedding, I just decided to do a small little fun thing for him to wear in the pocket of front pocket of his suit jacket. I had seen on Instagram the beaded fidget pocket dragon by Amanda Ray, and hers has beads, but she used like big beads that go through your hook, your crochet hook, and I didn't have any of those. I did try to use some of the beads that I have, but they're really tiny ones that only go through your yarn. Come here, Loki, you want to come here? too hot. They only go through the yarn, so I wasn't able to put the beads. Let me show you first, then I'll talk about it. So this is the head with big eyes, blue eyes, and then this is the body of the dragon. It has a small tail. It does look like a night fury. It's not black. It's a purple night fury from How to Train Your Dragon. I think it looks really amazing. So yeah, I saw it and I couldn't not make it. This was a very, very quick make. I made it in 2 evenings, not even. Just probably took me 3 hours altogether, but just because I kind of had to figure out things while I was going along, because the pattern, she used beads in the crochet hook, so the instructions are written for that. So every time that she was adding a bead, I got a bit confused. So I got a bit confused, so I just went on as I thought I could figure from the picture. So this actually doesn't look exactly like a picture, even the shape, but it is definitely heavily inspired by it. I did buy the pattern, I went through the pattern, and most of my dragon is from that pattern. It's, yeah, oops, it's slightly personalized. But yeah, if you fancy doing something like this, it's a fun project. I'd like to make more. So the reason why I decided to do this, because she was showing pictures actually doing this. So if you fold it in half and then put your head, and so the tail first, tail and head behind, then at the front, you see, it looks, let's say my hand is the pocket. It looks exactly like the little piece of fabric that they usually have in the pocket here. And this color perfectly matches Yanni's tie. Actually, I'm gonna get it so that you can see. Can I get your tie? Do you mind? So it really, really very closely matches his tie. So yeah, I thought this is gonna be so cool. Gonna have this matching the tie. And that's what I made. So this, I made it really quickly before we went to the wedding in July, mid-July. As you can see, I do get very easily distracted by small projects, but this was a fun make. So yeah, if you're looking for something fun to make, you have someone who might be willing to wear this, do it matching with the tie, it's gonna look amazing, and no one is gonna know that there's a dragon in the pocket, but you will, and that's what counts. Next, we're moving to works in progress. My next work in progress is the Poncho with Sleeves by Donna Lee Yarn. I am making this for my aunt, and I'm using her stash yarn from her stash, so it doesn't count in mine. However, to do the ribbing, the bottom ribbing of the body, I've used my yarn, and I've used most of. This is what I've got left, and this is Wool Ease in color black. Lion Brand Wool Ease in color black, which is a blend of acrylic and wool. So there's lots of progress, which is why I'm disappointed that there's no more, but this is what it's looking like at the moment. So as you can see, I finished the body. So I've done all of these bits. I finished the body, and then I've done 2x2 rib from here to here, all the way to here. I need to block it so that it stays, but when you wear it, it actually looks quite nice. I'm not gonna wear it today because it's too hot. It's hot, and anyway, it's not finished yet. So next time it will be finished. I might even be able to show you pictures of my aunt wearing it already. because I'm gonna go and see the family soon, so hopefully it will be done by then, so I can just leave it in Italy. Done. For now it isn't, so I picked up the stitches for the second sleeve and I've done this much rib. So obviously, as you know, the rib for the neck and for the two sleeves, I haven't held it double, whereas I've held double for the whole of the body. So it's thinner. It's really much thinner. The needles are thinner, and yes, so it's gonna take much longer to be done. So I've done this much. Actually, I had done almost this much in the dark while I was watching a movie, and then I realized that I was doing it wrong. So I had to unravel it all and start again, as I do. So now this is my progress, and yeah, as you can see, the sleeve is quite long. So I'm here, so I'm missing this much sleeve. The sleeve is obviously 60 something, 64, 66 stitches, I think, so it's much smaller round compared to the body. So it should grow more quickly, but yeah, it is held single instead of double, so it's a thinner yarn, so it's gonna take a little bit longer to grow. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased that I finished the body, and I am on my way with the sleeve. Second work in progress are the Beach Comfort shorts by Drops. I am using Drops Saffron in color number 13, Raspberry, which is the color that is in the pattern, and I am using crochet hook 3mm. So I have done, it doesn't look much, but it's lots of stitches, and they were all single crochet US terms, double crochet UK term. So I have done foundation round and a couple of single crochet US terms rounds to get these, I think it's 2 centimeter for the waistband, and then there's I think a half double, well, anyway, you can see it from the pattern, so you change type of stitch. So I've done that, and yeah, and you do that for one round. I'm almost at the end of it, and after that you have to start a chart for a few rounds, and I think is where you do a little bit of holes to then put in the strap for the strap that then you're gonna use to kind of tighten or not. So I will have to do, after this I will have to work on a chart, which is why I stopped where I did, because I could be more focused on this thing when I started the chart. So I do hope that once I've done the chart bit, then I can continue on the body of the shorts, and then I can separate the legs, and then they're shorts, so they're not very long. My last work in progress is the zombie, which is living in my lovely basket that I bought at the craft fair a couple of months ago. I found it's actually perfect if you're doing like amigurumi type of project. So you have lots of different colors in there, and you have to keep swapping from one color to the other. I'm loving it and using it to move around the house. It's great to manage amigurumis. So I started the zombie, which is fun. So this is the first leg of the zombie. I think I'm at the end of the leg or almost, and then you have to cut the yarn and do the second leg. I think I'm really there. And then after you do the second leg, you join them together and you go up with the body. This is actually, I did all of these, almost all of these, when I went to Crochet Club 2 weeks ago. And yeah, it's coming out really nice. So the zombie has the pants in blue, and I'm using the leftover blue that I use for the sheep, and this is Style Crafty K. Then I'm using these for the green of some of the green of the face. I didn't have the dark color for the shoes, but I thought, I mean, it's a zombie. It's not very likely that he's wearing shoes. So I thought it's gonna be the feet. The feet are gonna be zombie skin color, so that's the green. And then I have in here this other color, which I think I might be using for, I need to decide, because then the zombie has some other green and I don't have another green. I think I only have these, so I might be using, I wanted to use these for the shirt, the top of the zombie, but I think I might be using these for the change of color in the skin of the zombie. And I might be actually using these, so instead of the green I might be using this lilac for the top, the t-shirt. that the zombie is wearing. I actually lied. This was not the last work in progress because I have another one. So actually, I have done a little bit of everything. Then we're gonna have a look at the Yarnmap in a second. So this is the sheep blanket. Actually, I didn't write down again how it's called. I need to go and look it up. Because this pattern is not on Ravelry, so I can't just look it up on Ravelry. Anyway, it's a baby blanket in the shape of a sheep. And I'm using a chenille yarn from So Crafty Aldi, and also some of the white, which is a little bit thicker and slightly sparkly, is Bernat blanket chunky. So you had already seen this. That's the head of the sheep. Then, are you ready? I finished. I finished one of the legs of the sheep, which, if you think about it, I mean, the head is, well, it's like almost, well, vertically is as tall as my head. I'm actually following the example of Michelle from Shell Star Stitches. Let's compare with my head. So yeah, the vertically, the head of the sheep is size of my head. Horizontally is like half, and this is this is the leg. This is one of the legs. So yeah, it's big, but I mean, with the head, it's gonna be like this somehow. It makes sense. I just want to point out one thing. So then the body is gonna be a flat, non-stuff bubble stitch. And I just want to point out one thing. So this is a baby blanket, is not an upper body type of blanket. It's one of those blankets that you put under, I don't know, when you put the baby down to play. So those kind of soft and squidgy ones. So don't worry, I'm not going to put any baby at risk with this blanket. It's a toy blanket, basically, and it's going to be used when the baby is playing under adult supervision. So don't worry at all. So this said, this is a massive leg. Then there's 2 ears. So I think last time I showed it to you, I had done the head. It's all tangled here. I had done the leg and one of the ears. So now you have 2 ears. Ew. Let's pretend this is not all like that. So yeah, you have the 2 blue ears, a leg. I started also a second leg. However, I ran out of the white, as you can see. So my friend Petra, to the rescue, she had a ball of white yarn, which I'm gonna use to finish the legs, because then the body is gonna be in yellow and green, because that's what I have. It's gonna be a multicolor sheep. So yeah, that's all the progress with the sheep. I think I'm doing really well. I'm almost at the end. I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds to the end of the second leg, and then I've got only 2 more legs to do, and then I can move on to the body, which I am gonna work on in August. So as soon as I finish the poncho, I will power through this blanket, the trousers, the shorts, and the zombie, which is the quickest thing really. And next we will be talking about incoming. So you might have seen that I have published a vlog for the summer wool fair. It was a very fun day out. In the past, I've been twice with Petra and her lovely daughter Yasmin. And this year they couldn't make it. So I went with Yanni, my partner. He offered, so he drove me there and he stayed for the day. And it was a fantastic day. So if you are curious about what that looked like and all the things that I've bought there, please look down in the description box. I have linked that episode. I'm not gonna show you everything here that I've bought there because I bought a few things. I bought a little bit of yarn, and this is what I'm gonna show you today, and a pattern that I have bought there. So I'm gonna show you the yarny bits. Here I have bought some other like accessories. I bought some like a needle set. I've bought some project bags, a basket in the shape of a mushroom. So I bought lots of bits and bobs. Oh, I couldn't fit all of these in this episode, so I'm only focusing on the yarny bits. But yes, please do go there and have a look, and also let me know in the comments what you think about it. So now we're gonna look a little bit more in detail onto the yarn that I bought. So the first one incoming, I've got 3 skins of Fluff Decay, which is a 50-gram skin, 150 meter, and it's 100% super baby alpaca in color. It's getting hot in here, which is very fitting today. So this is the yarn. It has like hot pink and lots of lovely orange, almost red pinky orange in there. I'm trying to show all of the different from all of them. And it's really fluffy and airy and very light. And so that's that. So she said that she made a jumper that she had there in her samples with 3 of these. So I thought, okay, so with 3 of these I should be able to make one. So the jumper in question that I saw she made with this yarn in a different color, and actually she told me that she has just cast on the same jumper again in this color. So, and I didn't know this, I knew after I picked up this color. So the jumper that I want to use for these, I want to use these for, is Drop the Game Sweater by Cara Eng. So the construction, she said, is actually a really quick make, and the reason why maybe you don't need too much yarn is because it has lots of dropped stitches, so that create basically lots of space in between. So if you don't work a stitch, obviously for 1 or more rows, as it looks like from the picture, you're using less yarn, and also is more airy as a final result. So hopefully it's not too warm, which then can't be used as often as maybe a slightly lighter sweater, especially here in the UK. So I'm actually very excited about this and about the color. I can't wait to start it. I am thinking about how to fit it in my yarn map. The other thing is the Dot Pebbles Frog, which is a kit from Lucy Locketland, and I chose the colorway Swampy. She had 3 colorways, and this was the kit. So it contains the lovely pattern. This is how it looks like. It contains the lovely pattern, which is a booklet. I'm not gonna go through the booklet, but the cover is safe to show you, and I must say I love the attention to detail here. Actually, it's 2 booklets, because then on the back there's also the sweater, and you will see in a second why I also need a pattern for the froggy sweater. So I love the attention to detail, the fact that you have a little booklet that doesn't occupy too much space, it's gonna fit nicely in a project bag without you having to fold it and unfold it, and then it gets ruined and it breaks. I love it. I'm all for these little details. And this is how the kit looks like when you open it. And I tried to show you the other time, but I will take it out. So for the froggy sweater, you have these 2. So you could choose, these are 2, I weighed them because I didn't remember if they were 5 or 10. These are 10 grams mini, and you have to choose 2 so that you can get make a striped sweater. So I chose these 2. And yeah, I think that I like them. I think they go really nicely together as colors. So this is gonna be the jumper for the frog, and then the body is gonna be made with these 3. And these are, let me show them close. And this is a little frog stitch marker. Okay, so this yarn is Jamison Shetland Spindrift, and it's a 100% pure Shetland wool, and it's 25 grams per approximately 105 meters. And this is the color number 1130, lichen. Then, so this color here. Then we have this other color, which is color number 147, color moss, which is this deeper mossy green. I absolutely love it. And then to go with both of them, you have the color number 231, which is bracken, which is this kind of yellowy mossy green, still kind of mustardy tone, but still kind of dark. And yeah, so that's that. So that's what my frog is gonna look like with her jumper. And this I bought from Lucy Locketland. Her stall was beautiful and she had so many things. You have to look at everything, but you can't look too much at everything because otherwise you end up buying everything. I did like some of the other creatures that she also had, but she had samples of the little frogs that were like literally this big. And I was like, okay, I need to have it. And it is knitted with tiny needles, which I haven't used in a while. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to knit with tiny needles again. So yeah, this is their incoming. And then the last incoming I'm going to talk about from the fair, again, kind of knitting, which is actually, yes, it is knitting, is a pattern. When I recorded the wrap-up from the vlog wrap-up, the vlog haul, at the end of the day, I didn't have the physical pattern because she ran out of this pattern on the day. She said she had 20 copies and they all finished on day one. So I only had the digital version, which is fine because I often use the digital versions, but I just wanted to show you the actual physical version. I'm not going to go through it, but yeah, it's very detailed. There's lots of pictures. She has both written instructions and charts, which I think is really nice, so that you can swap between them or you can choose between both. And it's called, so it's, sorry, I didn't say the name. It's a pattern from Knitterish Designs, and it is called the Healing Wrap. And this is what it looks like. And on the back, she actually has two pictures wearing it, where she shows what it looks like with her from the back and yeah, from the front, so where it opens. So I think it's basically two panels that are knitted in mosaic, and then there a part of it is kind of sewn together. And I am quite excited to do this pattern because I've never done mosaic knitting. I've done color work. I have a whip color work at the moment. I've done color work squares as part of the Arne and Carlos 2020 knit along. But I've never done mosaic. Kind of, I don't know, I always found it kind of scary, and somehow I'm somehow finding out that it's supposed to be easier than actual like stranded color work. So I am very interested to try a few different colors used, and you work like a section and then you change colors. I think it's gonna be a good project to be used with my upcoming yarn advent calendars. Yeah, for now I'm very excited. I'm kind of thinking, I'm feeling a little bit smug, thinking I'm thinking ahead for my upcoming advent calendars. But yeah, this is really beautiful, and she had it there. I really caught my eye. So yeah, this is the Healing Wrap by Knit Design, and it's the last incoming for July. Actually, there is one more incoming for July. I don't have it here to show you because it's for December again. On the 31st of July, the Toft Mystery Crochet Along Advent Calendar has gone on pre-order, and I've ordered it. So I've had this the Toft calendar for the last 2 years. So I showed, actually, if you're interested in seeing it, I showed the 2024 Toft result of the 2024 crochet along, Toft crochet along, in my very first episode. So if you're curious, you can see them there. And then I've also done the 2023 one, which was themed. So 2024 was themed Hansel and Gretel, and the 2023 was themed, I think it was themed Nutcracker. And that was my very first advent calendar from Toft. And the colors that she puts there are a little bit more traditional Christmas colors. There was some red, some green, so some more traditional Christmas colors compared to the previous 2 years, which were kind of moodier, darker colors, not necessarily Christmassy, inherently Christmassy color, what we usually associate about traditionally what the time period colors. I'm curious, I'm intrigued. Part of the reason why it is nice to have a Toft advent calendar is actually the surprise of what you're gonna make, is following along with the crochet along. And usually she makes you do pieces without really finishing a piece until later on. So you just do pieces of parts, and you kind of have to guess what it is. So you don't really find out until much later. So that is nice. It will be shipped in November, so it will be here with me, ready to be started on the 1st of December, together with the other more traditional yarn advent calendars. A quick Yarnmap update. So you will know, come on, Lucky, come here, come here. Good girl, you want to come and say hello? You want to come and say hello? Oh, come and say hello, baby. You want to come and say hello? Oh, too hot to be near mommy, are you? So in July, I have finished one object, the Pocket Dragon. The Pocket Dragon used 9 grams of Stylecraft DK from my stash in the color, I don't know, this color. 9 grams out of the stash, and from the yarn I bought at the Summer Wool Fair, so from the Frog and the Knotted by Niche, is 150 grams from Knotted by Niche, and it was a 95 grams altogether for the Frog. Altogether, it's 245 grams in progress. I haven't counted the yarn for the poncho, even if I'm not going to use more of the woolies because I finished the body and I don't need that thicker yarn for the sleeve. However, I've always said I've only calculated in the month that I finished the project. So I'm going to do that in August, now in August. So when I do the wrap up for August at the end of the month. So this is our total for the month, which I'm going to put as usual on the screen now. And now let's talk a little bit about what I was up to in July. So it was a busy month. As you know, I have been to the Toft workshop at Kew Gardens with Petra. I've done a day vlog about it, which I'm also linking below. Then I went to Italy for the weekend with Yani in mid-July, from the 11th to the 14th, for a family wedding. My cousin got married, and it was absolutely an amazing day. It was lovely. It was an amazing weekend, and we saw another cousin on the day after. We went around the city where my other cousin lives, and we did a little bit of a sightseeing. We had ice cream, we had lunch with him. He cooked for us specialty from my area, which is very, very local. It's not really known abroad, which I hadn't eaten in a while, so I'm really happy that he cooked that for us. and it was a lovely day. And yeah, the day of the wedding, it was just amazing. It was done. It was hot, but not as hot as it had been until then. Catch up with family, and Yanni had his pocket dragon. And then at the end of the month, I went to the Summer Ball Fair. As I said, the vlog for the day is also linked below. I've definitely been enjoying the weather. It's been really, really great this year. So that was my July. And talking about July, let's have a look how I did in my yarn map. On the paper, I didn't do great because in July, I was supposed to progress the meter square blanket. I didn't have time to pick it up, so that didn't happen. I was supposed to progress the sheep blanket, and then I have quite a bit of progress, so that is a green light. Then I was supposed to start the troll hat in baby size, but that I already knew that I wouldn't pick up until August, so that's okay. I was supposed to finish the revamp cowl, which I didn't start in June, and I have kind of parked. I hope to be able to do it later in September, beginning of October. Well, that's still on the pipeline, but not for now, so that's also okay. That's it. I was supposed to finish the poncho with sleeves in June, and then I was hoping to finish it in July, which didn't happen, but at least now we know one thing, that I am definitely gonna finish it in August. So what's gonna happen in August, Yarnmap wise? In August, I will be finishing the poncho with sleeves. I will be finishing the zombie for my nephew, the Minecraft zombie. I will be finishing, or hopefully get very close to finishing, the sheep blanket. Then I wanted to also finish the beach comfort shorts. Let's see. They are not a priority. The other things are more important because I have to give them to people. So it's always like that. When I'm making things for people, they're always a priority. Then the things for myself always get dragged endlessly because there's always something else that comes up. But let's see. So that is for August. Then what is actually on the yarn map for August? Progress, meter square blanket. I mean, I suppose I can make a couple of squares. I can dedicate 2-3 nights throughout the month. Yeah, finish the sheep blanket, as I said, that's in the pipeline in the yarn map for August. Then I should progress as a Christmas jumper, the Julgenser Dame by Rauma Designs. That's my color work. And I think these I'm not gonna pick up now in August. I'm gonna just not this gonna be postponed to September. Then work on the troll hat baby that I definitely still want to do. And then I wanted to just start the Full of Me's hat by Barbara Nalevko. Yeah, I could start that, but that might also be postponed to September, which is not a super busy month. So continuing with my plans for August, is gonna be a little bit more of a quiet month. I am actually going to spend a few days with my family just this coming week, but I will be back by next Sunday, so that's just gonna be quiet, just quiet time. Nothing major planned, just easy like that. Just trying to be more mindful, getting towards the end of summer. So high summer has passed. It's still probably gonna be quite warm, but kind of try to slow down because both June and July have actually been quite busy for me. So I really want to be more mindful in August, and also maybe see what the rest of the year is gonna look like, both project wise and like for my personal life, and do a little bit of adjustment of my plans. So that is something that I'm planning to do in August. And then also part of the planning that I'm doing in August, I also have something exciting that is gonna start in September. So at my work, I've been approached by a colleague who manages a team, and they are looking into doing some activity for the team for the well-being. Someone in her team has come up with the idea of saying, well, you know, crochet and knitting is supposed to help with mindfulness and well-being, etc. It would be nice if we could do that as an activity, maybe a lunchtime activity. So she knows that I knit and crochet, and she asked me, would you feel comfortable teaching a class? So I've never taught a class. However, I have been teaching family and friends fairly successfully. So yeah, I said yes, I'm very open to do that. We're discussing, you know, how to arrange for them to have the materials that they need. So we decided to start with crochet. She's gonna gather the interest. So many people are interested. It's gonna be a small class, so because of course, we have limited time, it has to be limited capacity, but it's very exciting. So I'm very excited to be planning this. So I've kind of come up with a way of categorizing the different levels that we're gonna have in the classes. So yeah, it's just me, so it's gonna have to be beginner level. Everyone is gonna start from beginner level, and then we will be doing different things, and every step then we will say, okay, these skills were needed to complete the very beginner's part. Now you've done it. Now we start the second beginner level, then there's intermediate, etc., etc. So I'm gonna offer it once a week starting in September to a small group, and we will be doing crochet. We started with crochet, then we will see if people are interested also in knitting, and then maybe we can, if this is successful, maybe we can offer it next year, and then maybe we can scale up with a crochet level 2 and see how that goes. So now this is just a little bit of an experiment all the way from September to December, and see how that goes. But that is very exciting. It might become something bigger. That's something very exciting that is currently going to happen at my work. I will be telling you how this is going. So yeah, we will be making small creatures at the beginning. So I've selected the type of skill set that is required for the different small projects so that they can feel accomplished quickly. And then we're gonna select after that another project that is gonna have a little bit more skill set required, and so on and so on. And they're kind of themed, so we are planning to do a little ghost along then for Halloween. So the second project is going to be a little ghost with glow in the dark yarn. Yesterday when I was out and about with Petra, so we met up. As you saw, she was wearing this top that she made, her own version. We met in Richmond, which is in an area of London. It used to be outside London and has been a long part of it actually. And we ended up, well, she knew about it. I knew about the shop, but I had never been before. So we walked all the way. We had a lovely day, you know, very relaxed. It felt like a mini holiday. And then we arrived at this shop, and it is a yarn shop, and she also had the wonderful Lucke accessories I saw. So this is her card, and you can see it is so pretty from the outside, and she had this table with chairs that you can just sit outside, and she has all sort of yarns. So really is, so the shop is named Knit With Me. All of the most wonderful yarns. She has so many in such a tiny place, so neatly organized. Oh, we spent so much time in there. It was so lovely. She had the most beautiful samples also. And then she let me go upstairs where she has a beautiful area where she does workshops. And I thought it was just fabulous. I absolutely loved it. We will definitely be back. And we also, both Petra and I, did purchase something. However, since technically it's in August, I'm a little bit late with my July wrap up, but I'm not gonna do this in the wrong month. So these are August purchases, so I'm gonna be in that August wrap up. So for now, you will not be seeing the purchases, but you will be able to see the footage, which I'm gonna put it in now because, you know, it happened. I don't want to wait too long before I show the footage because I have it already. So I really hope you enjoy this little bit of footage with all of the fantastic yarn. This beautiful yarn was cashmere, and we looked at the beautiful cashmere samples for a while, and then we looked at these kits that actually are inspired by those paintings, and they're so accurate. They are beautiful, and I think I saw them at the fair as well not long ago. And then there were other paintings that were used as inspiration. And then this, I was so surprised to find out this was actually 100% cotton, and we just couldn't figure it out. So it was so fluffy, it felt like cashmere and mohair and alpaca all together, but it was cotton. So to be honest, if this is something that you might be interested in because maybe you're allergic to wool or you don't like mohair, please have a look at that. And this was linen, so Antigone, this was all linen, and I think it was 100% linen. And yes, it was beautiful. Of course, linen is a little bit more coarse, but I think it makes for a beautiful fabric. However, I never knitted with 100% linen. This is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, and I've been wanting to see this yarn for a while. I really wanted to see how that felt, and I must say it felt really nice. I never have seen yarn 100% pure silk. I know that Kotova Kika made her whole wedding dress with this yarn in that color that I'm indicating just now, like a cream off-white, and it was beautiful. This is the room upstairs that I was able to visit. So this is where she does the workshops, and I think she also does classes. And it looked so cozy, so beautiful. It's definitely a place where I can see people chatting and knitting. I would definitely actually consider going there. I had a look at her workshops and they were all sold out at the moment. So here I was going down the stairs and I did a little bit of a final shot of the whole shop from upstairs, and I did a little bit of a close-up on sneaky peek on what Petra was actually purchasing. Haha. What's next for the channel? So next episode I was actually thinking about taking advantage of the time I'm gonna spend with my mom in the next few days and finally get to film her vintage stash, their vintage yarn stash. So we're gonna go through that. So that's gonna be the next video, and maybe some vintage make. And then I'm also putting together a little guide, a little how to prepare your projects for flying and traveling in general. I'm just gonna share, since I do fly quite frequently, living in a different country from my family. I just want to share what my process is, what my way of thinking when I prepare. Of course, I don't know about you, but when I fly, when I travel in general, even if I don't fly, the first thing that I pack is my yarn, my projects. That's the most important thing. And then everything else comes later. In September, I'm gonna attend another yarn festival that is called Unravel here in the UK. They do it twice a year, once in February and once in September. We've been, I think, twice to the February one with Petra and Yasmin. I don't think we've ever been to the September one, so we're quite excited to see what's the difference with the September one. That is first, I don't know the exact date, but it's on the first half of September. These are the Farnham maltings, which is actually quite convenient. It's definitely more convenient than the Summer Wool Festival for us to reach. And then later in the year, I'm actually considering, because I quite enjoyed doing the vlogs on the day out with Petra, on the day out with Yanni, when I went to the Wool Festival, I was actually considering doing some sort of Vlogtober. Because I've never done daily vlogs, I don't know if I'm confident and comfortable enough yet to do to commit to a whole month of daily vlogs. So I was thinking about doing, maybe filming when I have time and the chance in October, and then maybe weekly, maybe on a Wednesday, doing a weekly kind of summary of all that happened in the previous week. So it would be some sort of Vlogtober, like a soft touch weekly Vlogtober. Let me know in the comments actually if this is something that you would be interested in seeing. And also in October I will be going again with Petra and maybe Yasmin to the knitting and stitching show, I think it's called, at the Alexandra Palace in London, and that is a very nice show also. And it's not just yarn, it actually has lots of other things. There are also other things that are coming up. Yeah, the rest of the year looks really exciting. So August is kind of the last really quiet month, so yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this and then ready for all of the exciting things that are coming up in the rest of the year. And that is it for today. So let me know in the comment, what do you think about my incoming for this week? What's on your needles or on your crochet hook at the moment? Are you making anything exciting or special, or are you also making something for someone else like I am doing? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like what you see today, please remember to maybe put a thumbs up for me and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you will see when I will publish the next few episodes. So the next one, remember, it will be my mom's vintage. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. Ecco, my next working project